Truck Talk Media.
C10 Talk, episode 275. The Git Down, Dino's Chevy Only, the biggest, the baddest, the raddest. Holy crap. Talk about a damn son. Here we go.
You don't want to get caught up in trying to build something for other than yourself. Like, you just do your thing, man, and which I like about this industry, like, you can still do it because it's just kind of what you want to do. So,
damn, son. Hey, guys, I've got David Odegaard, Product Manager, United Pacific Industries. David, what's the latest?
You know, one of our hottest items is the side mirrors with the directionals built into them, the LED arrow. You know, these look cool. They look original. And however, when you're driving at night and you're changing lanes, that guy that sits in your blind spot, we all know who he is. He'll see that you're indicating and you're coming over. And there's a great safety factor with these mirrors, and they look cool too.
Blind spot guy, we don't want you there, but the United Pacific side mirrors, they work great. I have them on Orange Slice. I love them. How about the guys that are looking to go long bed to short bed? What are you guys offering them?
Yeah, we have all the parts for the 67 to 72 bed, you know, new bed floors or whatever you may need, a new bed side, or that bed front that's always been smashed in by 50 years of stuff being, you know, hauled in the bed.
Yeah, these trucks have been worked so hard over the years. We love that about our trucks, but you might have a floor that's dinged up. You need some parts. United Pacific's got it for you. What else are you guys working on?
Later this summer, we're going to have the front parking lights for the square bodies, 73 to 80. These are full LED. They've got the deluxe stainless steel trim around them. And, you know, it's just a plug and play installation. And it's that final missing piece to convert your square body completely over to LED.
Perfect. So if you guys need some directional mirrors, some bedsides, bed floor, or maybe some LED lighting, United Pacific, upcarparts.com. That's upcarparts.com. Thanks, David.
Thanks, Ronnie. We'll see you out there on the road.
Let me tell you what Melba Toast is packing right here. I've got 411 posi track out back, 750 double pumper, Edelbrock intakes, scored over 30, 11-to-1 pop-up pistons, turbojet, 390 horsepower. We're talking some fucking muscle.
What does that do? Does that blow your mind? That just happened.
Welcome to C10 Talk, your C10 Truck podcast.
And now I have a chance to be the best, maybe the best in the world.
My old man is a television repairman. Got the ultimate set of tools. I can fix it.
I said I got 50 cents in that jukebox, and all I can hear is your mouth flapping. You hear that?
Here's your host, Ronnie Welch.
What is up? What is up, C10 Nation? Just when you think something can't get bigger, it can't get badder, it can't get radder, it does. And the Get Down does not disappoint. What an event. What a show. What a gathering. As you could tell, I still don't have my voice, and it's Tuesday night. I'm recording the intro from SEMA. I don't know if I ever got recovered from SEMA, let alone, and then back to the Get Down. As you could tell, I'm still suffering a little bit, but what a good time. Again, it's just unreal. See the people, and you know, I hate to throw out the numbers on this because I don't know. I've heard rumors of 5,000, 7,000, 9,000 trucks. It doesn't matter. I don't know that it really does because it's unreal. It's that big. I had people reaching out to me that they were like, dude, where were you? And I'm like, well, where were you? Like, we literally didn't even see each other. And in the old days, you know, it's kind of one of those things where we would definitely see each other because it was a lot smaller. So I guess that's a growing pain. But yeah, it's the biggest, it's the baddest, it's the raddest. It is absolutely unequivocal, the quintessential C10 Chevy truck gathering of the year. It's so big, over 200 vendors. So good to see so many people, meet new people. If you didn't get a chance to make it out, obviously there will be a ton of coverage, social media, YouTube, and whatnot. But you got to put it on your list. It's got to be one of those checkoffs because it's so big, so bad, so much fun that until you do it, I don't know that I can really convey it. I've been conveying it for 10 years now, and it doesn't disappoint. So Friday, again, was just absolutely, that's the big day, right? Friday's the big day. Saturday, they let the cars in, the Chevy cars in. But it was a lot. We had a lot going on, a lot of people. Thank you to everybody that stopped by, the C10 Talk, C10 Nation. And now we have a Doja Mat extension to our trailer, our booth. So if you came by, we do appreciate it. If you came by and I wasn't there, I'm sorry. I'm moving, I'm shaking, and it's just crazy, right? So again, I do really want to say thank you. We did get a little flack. People are like, dude, your stuff. Well, we kind of have just really not been doing a lot of vending, a lot of gear. Obviously, we've been putting a lot of energy and effort into the Doja Mat stuff and everything else we have going on. So if you did come by and you were disappointed because the variety or the assortment wasn't there, I apologize, but thanks again. Obviously, our stickers are the best and second to none. We have so many different stickers, and we will be offering a lot of sticker sales and some blowout specials for Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, whatever it is. Really a lot of our gear that we have left post Get Down. Saturday, the same, just big time. Such a fun thing. And hey, I kind of jumped ahead. How about Thursday, the pre-parties? I didn't go to Trey 5's Eye Candies. It's always a fun one. I did hit the East Side one. Good time, great time. They shut off kind of a street down in Mesa. So Trent, who owns Chupacabra, the Tap Room, and then Big L and Rich, Big Homie Customs, the two brothers, great job on pulling that off. That's going to continue to grow and get bigger and better as well as the street kind of gets closed off and all the trucks get in and everybody's drinking, having a really good time. Okay, so then Friday, another humdinger. I mean, there was so much variety, again, with a huge amount of vendors. It's probably bigger than SEMA, and it's like all of these C10 special vendors. So if you can't make it to SEMA, you got a free pass to the Get Down, and that's what's so unbelievable about it is it's free entry, free parking. You're good to go. You just got to get here and show up. So it is an absolute. It's amazing. It's just so big and so rad. Saturday, the one thing about Saturday, again, we're all trying to recover. They did shut it down a little early, so 3:00 on Saturday because they had a Cardinals game, and I think they actually even kind of let them extend to 3:00, which they usually don't, because when you think about getting all those vendors, all those trucks, everything out of there cleaned up, because they did have a home game, a Cardinals home game that next day, so they got us all out of there at 3. Just again, I think when you look back over 10 years ago, social media and the presence and the magazine coverage, it wasn't what it is today, so you're able to kind of get that exposure. We've got like 7 interviews that I walked around, and for me, I like to walk around. I get to talk to people, run into people, meet people, hang out with people, and I'm trying to make sure I get that content and keep bringing that to you. So I think I got some really good ones. There was a few giveaways. Obviously, they did 3 motors. I didn't even have a chance to talk to the winners of that. That would have been a good one. But if you're out there and you won one of the motors, let me know. I'd love to chat it up and congratulate you, and then see what you're going to do with it, see what your plans are. Episode 274, which was SEMA, the week prior, I didn't really get a chance to barely get it out before the Get Down and then really push it, market it, and let you guys know about it. So do me a favor, check that one out. Some really good interviews, some great builders. There's one, Boneyard Bailey. I really want to make sure everybody hears her story. 17 years old, out of Ohio. Her and her dad built like a 76. Really sweet. Sage on white. Really nice square body. So, again, SEMA coverage is 274. You might have been doing the same thing, trying to get ready for the Get Down. So get back in there, 274 and then 275. That's it. I mean, it was a great week. I'm kind of glad it's over, because with SEMA and the Get Down, it's a busy 2 weeks, and now I can work on the 76 GMC 4x4 3/4 ton. I still haven't really come up with a name with it. Right now I'm kind of thinking high C, but I'll come up with something. I know I will. I kind of want to let it take shape first before I really solidify a name. I just feel like I've done that before, and then a name will hit me and I'll be like, oh shit, that's what it needs to be. I'm glad that I pulled the plug on that probably a few days before the Get Down, because I just didn't think it was going to happen, and I'm glad that I did, because I'd rather showcase some of the stuff that we're going to do with it. Off-road designs, we got the Toyo tires, the US wheels, 1610s, so there'll be a few other little things that we do with that truck, and I think that going slower, taking my time, really dialing it in is something I look forward to, and it's therapeutic to go through it slower, and just do it right instead of just racing through it and then having to go back through it. So that will definitely be at the reunion. I don't know it's necessarily going to debut at the reunion, because for me, I feel like I can have it done. I'd love to have it done because I really want to drive it. For us in Arizona, our best time to be driving these trucks is really, October to March. And that's our peak nice weather, almost roll up the window, put the heater on a little bit, maybe crack the vent and go on those nice drives because it's not so damn hot. I did throw Orange Slice together. I was having some problems with it. And because I pulled the trigger on, or pulled the plug, if you will, on the 76 GMC 4x4, that gave me a little bit of time to figure out what the hell's going on with Orange Slice. And what I figured out was we've got a battery problem, we had a starter problem, and we had some wiring problems. I DC'd a bunch of the wire stuff for the AC. So that was the 30 amp that melted. And I have no idea if that was just AC problems. And then if maybe the starter went bad simultaneously. I never really had a chance to check it. So dove in, wanted to make sure I at least got something out there to the Get Down, and went out back, found an old starter, threw it in there, went through a few different things, and it seemed to run fine. So I've got to kind of now rework through some of the wiring. I'm still running the stock AC. I would love to do an Orange Slice 2.0 and really go through that truck with just completely finite. I don't know if I'll ever have time for that. I've got a couple other builds that are in the progress, or in progress, I guess. So we'll see. Plenty going on. Let's get right into the Get Down coverage, the Get Down interviews. I hope you guys, if you made it out, I hope you had a great time. I hope you had safe travels to and from. And if you didn't make it out, I know I've heard some people, I even talked to some guys that say, hey, where's Robbie and the UBT guys? And they said, hey, they're kind of doing it every other year. And I get that too. It's not something that maybe every year you can make out. But if you make it out once, you're definitely going to want to come back a few more times. So we look forward to seeing everybody. Again, safe travels home to everybody. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for tuning in. Check out 274 interviews from SEMA. And until next time, I'm out. Have a great week, guys. Late. What's up? What's up? We're starting it off. Get Down. I think this is my 10th year of covering the Get Down from the pod. So kind of crazy that this is the 13th year. And you're out here and we're out here, and this thing is unreal. The show. Now, Lou from Petrol Machine Journal, there's a few underscores in there, I think in between each word. You guys, you're over here at the Empire Fabrication booth. You've got your 77 Shorty. This thing, it's one of those builds where you see it and you could tell that it's really going to have a lot of pop. Thanks for taking time to be on C10 Talk. Thanks for what you do for the community. He's the candy man. We'll get to that later. But what's the plan with this thing, bro?
Well, the patina, you can't beat the patina at all. I mean, it already has character as it sits. So we're going to do Sean at Empire Fab. We were at his shop, and he had a stack of hot rod magazines from the 70s. And we just started trying to get inspiration for the motor because, LSs, they're all the intakes are almost all the same, so we want to do something completely different. So we're doing the independent throttle bodies on it, and the Moroso valve covers, and we're going to do gold and white accent, just like if it was a 70s motor, hot rod motor. So that's the look we're going for it in the motor. The bay is going to be nice and clean, and interior we're going to go modern, but keep the patina on it, have it lay frame, and we're still figuring out the wheels. So.
Yeah, you've got some rollers on it. Now, what about the chassis? Because you are laying all the way down.
Yeah, so the chassis is made by Fiction Fab. They did the chassis, and we did some upgrades, billet aluminum A-arms, and just some little touches here and there to give it a different pop from what it was.
Well, let's walk over here because he talked a little bit about the billet control arms, definitely the uppers, but you've got, from almost like a coil over perspective, you've got a big shock there, and you've got a really nice shock tower. So there's obviously a lot of engineering that's going to go into this, or has went into this. Is it something that you're going to just roll, or something you're going to really pound the pavement with?
Oh, no, this one's going to be a pound and pavement. That's the goal on it. I mean, to drive the crap out of it.
You could say shit. Is it a 6.0, 6.2? What block are we looking at?
It's a 6.2.
Okay, so 6.2. He's got individual stacks. He's got Moroso valve covers, giving it that old school pop. And then Sean over at Empire Fab, you've got a completely smooth firewall. It looks like he's went into just a scotch into the firewall to make sure that motor sits just right. Headers look really good. It's gonna sound gnarly.
Yeah, that's the goal, to sound gnarly, drive gnarly, and we want to go with some different wheels, like I said, just to really make everything tie in and just really make it a real hot rod truck with a patina and just a really super tits interior where all the creature comforts, and that's the goal with it.
I kind of know you as the crew cab guy, right? You've bought a lot of the crew cabs over the years, the two-wheel drive long bed crews, and now you've got a little shorty here. You're getting outside of your wheelhouse. I like that.
Yeah, something different, but the crew cab that we have is another 77. I just fell in love with the color combo, so the 77 with the blues and the gold stripe, and yeah, I think it just makes the whole truck pop.
Yeah, anything with the 77, we kind of like that yellow fever. When you think about your vision, is your vision coming true? Has it changed? Have you modified it? Or is it one of those things where you thought, hey, simple this, and then it just got out of hand? And walk us through that.
So on this one, it's all evolved, but here the vision we have is we want to build, obviously we have the 277s, but we're going to build a single cab dually, but all the same color combo. So we're building a single cab dually, which is already done, and we're building a crew cab dually and a Suburban, all the same colors. So that's the goal, is to have a fleet of just all the blue trucks.
So you'll have all four, single cab short bed. He has a single cab dually, Suburban, and the crew cab, all with the yellow fever. Yeah, you've got a problem. I thought I had a problem with the orange. The cool thing about being from Cali, you're kind of a Bakersfield guy, right? Yep. So is that blue plate really matches that style. So for you guys at home, if you're sitting here and you're thinking, well, I know 77 has the Spanish gold inlay versus the black. Well, the California blue plate really matches. You get the blue, you get the gold, you get the bow tie, which is gold, and then it all kind of comes together even with your gold valve covers.
Yeah, Sean, he's a visionary, and he's just said it's the subtle deals are the ones that make the biggest impacts, and that's where we're a firm believer that is subtlety is what makes the build is subtle.
You've got some rollers on here now. I think one of the hardest parts is picking the right wheel. Do you have that narrowed down, or have you even thought about getting that far yet?
No, we haven't gotten that far, and you're absolutely right. When it comes to wheels, it's kind of like you can have the perfect woman, the best looking dress, but what makes or breaks the elegance of the woman are the shoes. So that's the final touch that we're still figuring out.
Okay, you'll get the right shoes eventually. And I think in the old days it was even harder because you didn't have Photoshop and people just couldn't figure stuff out. This truck, because it is a beautiful woman who has really nice curves and she's spent a little bit of money on the dress, you have to go big on the shoes. You can't go cheap. And that's a big thing for you guys out there. You just can't go cheap on that. You got to go with the right wheel combo. So you're going to really update the interior. I see Sean's got a real nice tunnel for you guys because, again, this is laying frame. So you got a big trans tunnel working your way back. They got an elevated bed in the back. You got a cool smaller column. It almost looks like a car column. What are you running there?
Yeah, I believe it's I'm not too sure.
It might be like an I did it out of a early Camaro style, yep. Maybe Chevelle, and working our way back, raised bed floor. Again, you got the blue on blue with the baby blue and the 77. Beautiful. The tailgate looks so good, and the inlaid Chevrolet badge, if you will. I guess it's more of a tailgate banner, and then again, you get that Spanish gold. It really pops. What are you going to name this truck? Do you have a name for it?
Yeah, we have a name for it. It's going to be called Regal, which is a bright blue star. So that's a name we're going for. It's Regal.
Okay. The 1977 Cheyenne Regal. For you guys out there, you can follow Sean at Empire Fabrication. Obviously, his social. You can go to Fiction Fabrication. They do a lot of the chassis work here. And then Petrol Machine Journal, and there's some underscores there. Now, before we went on air, the reunion, which you're literally lose a staple there. He's been coming out. It's kind of cool now. We're in the shadows of the Get Down, which is it's good. It's good to be in the shadows of something this amazing. But now you've got 4 months. Do you think you'll have it rocking and ready, or is 4 months too soon? Because 4 months, it seems like a long time, but it's a lot.
Yeah, 4 months. You think it's a long time for a build, but it goes by very quick. But that's the goal. The reunion's been a hell of a show. The layout's great. The ambiance is great. It's the pre Dino's party to the Get Down. So I think the reunion is the goal. I've already picked. Hit Sean in the ribs, kind of like a good horse, kind of like giddy up, let's get it going. He's like, Lou, I don't know, but that's the goal, is to debut it there at the reunion.
Well, I can't wait to see you. We got the Petro Puppet coming through here. Somebody's burning some fuel. They're getting crazy in the background. I think we're just going to watch and see. If you need any help with wheels, let us know. I don't know that I'm an expert, but I do like that challenge sometimes, because picking the right wheel can really make or break it. Good luck, Lou. Thanks for taking time to be with us as always. I love Regal. I love Elwood. We love what you're doing. Keep pushing that envelope. And last but not least, if you guys want to understand what we talk about when the trucks are cool but the people are cooler, you have to be an ambassador. And I always say, are you given or taken? And Lou, you're a giver. You're giving back to the community. Even though you're building stuff, you're giving back to the people that you're hiring, that you're working with, and you're building rad stuff, and you are a true ambassador. You give back to the people, and that's what it's all about. So for you guys out there, you have to say, am I a giver or am I a taker? Lou, you're a giver. We appreciate you doing it, and as always, we love your support.
Well, thank you very much, and I'm a firm believer, the debts of love paid with love.
There you go, just like Regal. All right, guys, first interview for the Get Down 2023, the 13th annual. We've got Lou, check it out, late. Hey, if we're doing one truck, we got to do the other one. So we've got Elwood, 1978 single cab, long bed dually, obviously, so it's a C30. Sean, one of the coolest things on this is the logo. For you guys out there, the diesel logo, it's a yellow and orange. It's really a cool logo. You guys had Billet Badge make you a new one. So you've got the blue, you've got Elwood, the thing pops. We've got Sean from Empire Fabrication. You guys did an amazing job on this one. Tell us a little bit about this build, bro.
All right, so in front of us right now is Elwood. And initially, when Lou, Petrolhead, came to us, we were gonna build him two dualies. A crew cab long bed laid out, and the single cab short bed static. And they were going to be the Blues Brothers, Elwood and Jake. Well, things have evolved. Now Jake's been renamed, and we're renaming Jake Recession, just because it's going to put everybody in a recession, not just one person.
Meaning it's going to be that badass that people are going to shit their pants, and to meet that level, it's going to be the ultimate. Is that what we're thinking? So Jake/Recession. Lou's in the background laughing his ass off. He's going to love this. So Elwood and Recession.
So yeah, Recession's gonna be coming out. We're gonna start working on it pretty soon. We gotta finish up Regal for him first. But Elwood in front of us, we can go over it. Yeah, Billet Badges made us the custom badges. We took the orange and yellow that was in there, and we did it with the dark blue and light blue to bring it in from the truck. This truck we painted with the deluxe core package on the hood, so we have the dual stripes with the light blue on the hood. But going through it, it's a 24 valve Cummins. We built our own water box to do a water air intercooler system. And so we have all that. We did all the tube work, shaved the original valve cover, but we went through and brushed everything. All the powder coat on the Banks Monster Ram, we took that off and we brushed all the stuff, and then Cerakoted it clear. The engine bay on this truck is, I mean, Ryan, what do you think?
I think it's absolutely stunning. I think it's clean. The firewall is completely cleaned up. Every time we interview these guys, these dudes are firing off like freaking crazy, kind of crazy. Here's the other thing, is with the intercooler, the way you did the piping and the water box, it's hydro brakes, so you've got the big brakes. Everything is just really clean and very well done, tastefully. Less is more.
Correct. Less is definitely more. And the other plus with the water to air is you can get a super small unit. Ours that we built for this truck is about a little bit bigger than a battery size. And so it doesn't take up any space. You don't have to cut the front of the car out. We just have a small heat exchanger behind the grill. Everything fits great. Now the other plus with this truck, we backed it up with an Allison 6-speed transmission. So that is, I mean, the Dodge transmissions automatics are just weak points. We didn't want to have any issues with that. And then the wiring on the car was completely gone through. The actual truck itself has a Motec PDM in it, so we can program a lot of the lights and a lot of the management stuff for this truck separately.
So what's your thoughts here? I love that you have the 6-speed, but you went with the 24 valve. So for the audience, if you're not really huge into Cummins motors, you have the 12 valve, which is the OG, and then you have the 24 valve, which came after that. It's like 98.5, and then that came out. Why not just go with like an LBZ if you're gonna go with a 6-speed Allison? What was your thoughts?
Well, the thoughts is going back to Blues Brothers. Initially, Jake was gonna get a Duramax and an Allison, and we wanted to do Elwood with a different motor setup. I had a 24 valve Cummins in the shop. Lou picked it up off of me, and we decided to back it with the Allison. And so the Recession will still be getting the Duramax engine, it'll just be a crazy build. And
what did it take to get that 6-speed behind the 12 valve or 24 valve?
So we used Diesel Conversion Specialties adapter. They use a Ford Power Stroke starter for it. And then we used Automatic Conversion Specialties out of Florida, made all the standalone management system for the Allison. We did a 4-wheel drive floor, but because of the Cummins, we couldn't angle it back enough to clear the hump. So we actually raised the 4-wheel drive hump an extra inch to clear the Allison.
Okay, so working our way around, obviously you got to have that clearance. Elwood is beautiful. Whoever did the seat in the interior, again, it's so cool that the less is the more. So you get the Cheyenne badging, and you went with the paint, you went with the upgraded paint, the dash, the seat, the carpet, and you went with the big 22s, but you got some caps made as well.
So on the 22s, we developed a billet hubcap that covers the tin lugs. Now the hubcap is based off the original square body dually hubcap. We scaled it down, made an adapter, and so it just pops on to the to our adapter and covers the tin lugs. And then we painted it like original, except where the yellow would be in the stripe, and then the emblem we went with the light blue that's on the truck to tie it down into the wheels. And then
it looks perfect. I mean, the only thing that when you see these caps, what's cool about it is the way that you guys brought it out, where the original cap kind of has more of like a 45. This just looks crisp and clean, and the color really makes it pop.
Thank you. And then going to the interior, Mark at Elegance Interior in Upland, California, busted out this interior for us. I couldn't say enough good things about that guy. He custom foamed the seat for us, and we utilized the emblems that were in the seat. He tied those back in with a nice clean insert in the top of it. He built the bolsters up and everything. The seat is just extremely comfortable. He did the carpet and the headliner for us, and then we restored all the original door panels, and then the dash pads from USA 1 and Dakota digital gauges.
Yeah, and just going back to the seat, you guys could picture when he talks a little bit about the insert, not only does he have a nice plaid insert, and it's tasteful because it's not a big plaid insert, but then he has the inserted squares. So they're kind of like, if you think about your normal square body, you've got your little buckle there. You've got the bigger mirrors working their way around. You've obviously got all the trim. Who about the paint? The paint is stunning.
So the paint was painted by Valley Customs. It's the dark blue metallic with the light blue. The other thing that we did is we took the Deluxe Core dark blue stripe on the hood, and we painted that in all of the trim on the truck. The trim that would normally be black also has that dark blue tied into it.
Okay, so again, think about this as a dually, a 22 rear wheel. They've got the cap. You guys went with what looks like a 4-inch tip in the back.
Yeah, we have a 4-inch stainless steel tip. It's a 4-inch Banks exhaust. They gave me we bought the kit from them, modified it to fit the truck, and then we wrapped the entire exhaust to keep the heat down underneath everything underneath it.
From the chassis perspective, did you guys do any mods? The rear bumper looks like it might be tucked just a little bit more than normal, and even the front, you guys really are bringing things in very tight.
So the chassis is a stock C30 chassis. We use our C30 notch kit, which is over 36 inches, covers front to back of that frame, and it's got built-in helper bags. And then behind that, we have our cradle system, which utilizes 2 3-gallon tanks, 2 Viar compressors, and any management you want to go with. This truck is currently running the new Logic setup. And then the back bumpers, the Suburban Blazer bumpers, stock length right now.
Okay, you talked a little bit about the air. Where is this truck sitting right now?
So right now there's about 10 pounds of pressure in the back bags, but it's a 5.7 drop. We have 3-inch Western chassis spindles in the front with a 2-inch coil, and then we think that the Cummins will eventually settle down the coils, being a 6.8. And if you want the back to go a little bit more, you can take out the air in the bags. We just have it rided up right now until the front end settles.
Well, not only that, but they did such a great job where the dualies, it looks like it's just going to go over, so that when you do sit it down, it'll just be just right and giving it kind of that tucked perspective. So Elwood is absolutely stunning. The paint turned out great. The interior, the motor, the whole package. Is there anything left that you guys haven't done on this?
Well, some of the other things you don't see is we did under rail lighting under the bed. It's ran off a Ford Raptor bed switch that's programmed into the Motec. So you have control of the bed lights and of the reverse lights from the switch in the back. And then if you leave it on, the Motec will turn it off after 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, there's nothing you really didn't think of. Obviously, the color looks good. When you think about recession, what are you thinking? Are you thinking like Git Down 24? We're just going to see how it goes. One of the Cali shows, because I know you guys are kind of moving and shaking, and you got a lot going on over at Empire Fabrication.
So recession, once we start on it and get the chassis going, there's a few mods to the cab that are going to be really big mods. We'll probably bring recession out a few times in bare metal. It's going to be a bigger build. We're not really rushing it. It might be something we want to compete for a bigger award with. There's a lot of really trick things that we're going to be doing to that truck that 90% of people aren't going to notice.
Chassis, what are you thinking? Is that something that you're going to do in-house, or are you looking at aftermarket and then incorporating that to some of the things you guys do?
So the chassis itself, as of right now, we're looking at doing it in-house, like our Suburban chassis we brought out a few years ago. And we are building it strong enough that it could tow a triple car gooseneck is the plan with that truck, but yet be such an elegant show truck that it confuses you. I mean, the truck's going to be over the top. There's not going to be any stone unturned underneath that truck. Everything will be modified. Every panel is going to be touched, but it'll be touched in the most subtle way that you won't notice it.
Well, and you think about when you say recession being that high end of a build, you don't think it's actually going to hook up a triple and then actually work. The cool thing for Lou would be whether or not you could put Elwood, Regal, and whatever the bourbon's going to be. Now, that's a big task, but that sure would make for a really cool picture.
Well, if you know Lou, you know that's what he wants. I mean, he's had that vision in his head for all of it. I mean, and that's the whole keys. He wanted Elwood to pull a single car trailer to pretty much pull Regal. And then recession, he wants to pull Dorothy and maybe another Suburban that I'm talking him into buying. We'll see how we go with that one.
Well, ultimately, Sean, it sounds like you and Lou have come up with some great ideas. And I know that the mind, the money, and the magic is all going to happen with you two. So for you guys out there, if you're not following Empire, if you're not following Petrol Machine Journal, you need to be, because this is where it's all going to happen. As always, Regal, Elwood, Sean, thanks for doing what you do. Thanks for taking time, and keep up the killer work.
Thank you, Ronnie. I appreciate what you do, and I love the pod, man.
Thank you, dude. Late. Classic Performance Products, CPP back. Joe, let's talk X10 spindles. Go.
One of our most popular parts through the years has been our 2.5-inch drop modular spindles. Really popular part. Well, we've kind of taken that to the next step. You know, we've emulated late model Corvette, Silverado, Chevy technology into our new X10 drop spindles. They use a steel hub, sealed bearing hub, really strong piece. It's oversized bearings. Definitely great for a guy using big brakes, big wheels, which I'm sure all your guys are.
You need a new spindle anyways. You're going to lower your truck. You're running a bigger wheel, a bigger brake. CPP's got it for you with their new X10 spindle. Joe, as always, thank you. CPP, classicperform.com. It's classicperform.com. Sniper 2. Are you ready to switch out that old carb for a modern EFI system? Well, Holley has a solution for you. The all-new Sniper 2. This new system was redesigned from the ground up. Available in tumbled polished or black powder coat, and there's 3 available tuning interfaces. A classic 3.5 handheld, a 5-inch mountable, which includes a GPS speedo or a Bluetooth module so you can use your smartphone. Another big bonus is the Sniper 2 has a built-in transmission control module. So if you're looking to upgrade to a 4-speed overdrive, 4L60, 4L80, you now can with ease. Holley.com to get started today. Holley.com. Hey guys, let's face it. Your truck suspension is old, and your ride can be so much better. Discover QA1 and their full range of truck, suspension components, drop kits, and coilover conversion systems. QA1.net. That's QA1.net. Marquet has been in business for over 40 years. Marquet has grown to be one of the country's premier truck parts manufacturers. They have made their original parts from the original trucks. All parts are manufactured in-house in Oklahoma City, USA. They offer quality parts built by Americans for old American-made trucks. So when you're looking for body moldings, bed strips, bed wood, and so much more, think Marquet. That's mar-k.com. What up, what up? Day number 2. We've got Dustin, we've got John, Mr. Brito, Driveway Finds. These guys find all the cool stuff. I think this might be the coolest thing they found, and they do find some really cool stuff. 1969 Chevrolet Suburban, but here's the deal. If you haven't seen it online yet, or you don't put that it belongs to them, it was a highway patrol recovery vehicle. They've got the winch, they've got the bumper, they can jump you, they can pull you out, they've got the sirens, the horns, all the cool shit. And the best part is they found it from a crackhead. So we're gonna get into that. We're out here at the Get Down. They brought it out so everybody could see it. And the exclusive that we have is that they would like to take this to SEMA 2024. John, thanks for bringing it out. Thanks for taking time. Love the unit. It's bad, it's rad, it's one of a kind. Like you.
Thank you, Ronnie. I just got to say, me and Dustin are never going to not come to Dino's. This is rad. We're loving it. We're going to bring a whole fleet here next year. But yeah, this thing was just a journey. I found it. I wish we had a cool story about it, but it was on Facebook Marketplace. We did not buy it from a crackhead. We bought it from a guy who bought it from a crackhead. Really nice guy. What was his name? Clark. Sorry, Clark.
Right, Clark, you're not a crackhead, but there's crackhead lineage to this.
He told me, he was so polite about it. He's like, he's a tweaker-ish kind of guy. He the political correct way. I found it on Facebook Marketplace. Me and Dustin went back and forth. We have all the texts of like, should we get it? Oh my God, and what are we gonna do with it? Blah, blah, blah. And then finally, me and him are like, we're like addicts, but like, so we play off of each other. You know.
Well, the cracks, the trucks. The audience can relate.
He just told me about something that came available today, and he goes, we really shouldn't buy it. And I go, how about we buy that and the other two things we were going to buy? So we play off each other, and he's like my son, so we own a lot of stuff together, and this was just a natural fit. So
Dustin, you're the enabler.
Yes, I'm definitely the enabler, but he's guilty as well. I mean, we have so many projects that we also own together, and he's talking about a short wheelbase van that's coming up, 75. So it's like, how could you not? I mean, come on. So no, this thing's awesome. We're sitting there at work texting each other back and forth, like, should we get it? No, we have too many projects. Let's just get it. No, I don't know. So we kept going back and forth. I played bad cop. He played good cop with the guy that was selling it, Clark. And he was like, you know what? Hit him with the price and tell him delivered. If he delivers it, we're doing it. He's like, okay, delivered. We're like, oh shit, it's happening. Okay, it's happening tonight. So no, we're super stoked to have this thing and just preserve its history, and just put it out there in the world so it can be seen. That's what needs to happen with this thing.
Well, and really original paint for the most part, and it's one of those things where it's a survivor. So we see these trucks and everything's got a story, but does it have a unit story? And the story of this thing, you guys were able to find some old newspaper articles. I've even heard, I think from you guys, that the commissioner of the Highway Patrol, the California Highway Patrol, would like to see it. So the future is bright with this thing.
Yeah, this thing, it's like patina, but it's not really. It's scars from working. It's got like chain marks in the back. Those chain marks are from somebody getting pulled out of the snow and the captain just throwing the chains. You're in a rush. People are, hurt or scared. It's every little mark on this thing is from work. It's like an old fighter, and we're really excited to own it. And we just got to preserve it. It's like I said yesterday, I'm going full Indiana Jones on this thing. It belongs in a museum. It belongs in the Highway Patrol Museum. I don't care what we had to spend to get it, what we have to spend to keep it going. I am just happy to preserve it. And Dustin and me we're just aligned on that. So
how do you find that balance? So when you think about this, like Suburbans, I've seen them, what's the guy, Laid Back, Hondo, he has a really cool old orange. He put a 12 valve in it. It went to SEMA. He sells Hondo from Laid Back. So, but here's the point is where do you find the balance of bringing it back to life, restoring it and not taking away from it. So how do you guys say, we got to keep that, we got to upgrade that? Where do you find that balance?
So for us, we're all about the story. We're all about preserving the history of Driveway Finds, Brito and I. And, we do have our trucks and Suburbans and stuff like that where we can do our thing. We can be creative. With this, since it has its old pictures, it has its history, we want it to be the way that it was in 1969 when it was in service. We want the right model light, the right spotlights and stuff like that, because we want people to walk up to this thing and go, wow, it looks just like it did in the old pictures. So this is kind of where we draw the line. This is where it is going to be as original as it can be.
Good. Yeah, unmolested. Bring it back. Make it fun to drive. Make it reliable. And it literally could be like a parade machine.
Just keeping it the way it is what we want to do. And like I said, we're cool with resto modding stuff. Like I have an LS Swap Suburban. He has an LS Swap C10. But we kind of crowdsource it. We take it out. We take a vehicle out. And what's the crowd want? The CHP, we thought we were going to actually restore this thing when we bought it. The first couple weeks, we're like, yeah, we're going to have to, man, it's going to be a lot of sanding and all that body, But then we're like, the CHP was like, no, we like it. They said that to you, right? They were like,
yeah. Like, here's the thing. CHP certified, they like patina. Yeah. They liked this thing. They like the scars. They like the use. Like, the CHP likes patina. I mean, who knew, right?
Well, you think, okay.
And I think the audience would like it too, right? So when you're out here, you bring it. It's never been to a show this big where you have this many eyes on it. And ultimately, I'm assuming that most people are saying, leave it alone.
It seems like everybody is. And I think about, okay, if you're walking through the CHP museum and you see all these, perfectly restored, units, that's what they're all called. But then you see this one off in the corner with a chain laying on the ground and some pictures of it pulling out car. You're going to be like, oh, look at that. You're not going to care that half the rocker's gone. I mean, like, it's gone because it had snow packed in it from probably going off a snowbank and saving people, so it got those scars from working. And as much as, like, me and him would like to just frame off this and make it perfect, but we can't. We have to preserve it.
I think when you initially reached out and said, hey, you got to check this out, I can't remember the show. For the audience, you might. It's based out of New Mexico, and he's got an amazing
Dark Winds.
Yeah, Dark Winds. I'm sure people kind of associate the two because this thing looks just like that. Obviously, it's a little higher. What, from the reliability perspective, do you have to do to the motor?
So, this is just a small block Chevy that we pulled out of some random truck that we found. And you know what? It's doing totally fine. Like, this isn't just a museum piece, even though we say we want it to be. We actually drive this thing. We use this thing. I've taken it to work a bunch of times, and we literally just used the winch to drag out a 69 C10 that Jose bought, and it worked flawlessly. I mean, we use these push guards to push the truck and everything. Like, we're not afraid to use this thing. Like, that's what it's for. My coworker called me when I drove it to work. Hey, my battery died. Can you help me? I'm like, dude, this is freaking perfect. I drove the unit today. I've never been so excited to jump someone's car, right? Drove down the road. Obviously, I made a reel of it, of course. Plugged it in, jumped his car. Away he went. It was perfect.
For the audience, think about, it's a 69 Burb, right fender, passenger front fender. It's got kind of a 12-volt style plug-in. You plug it in. It's got the jumper cables, and that's what this thing was for. If you were stranded, if you were stuck, the unit had it. They had a captain assigned to it. Think about a job. They had a cush job. You just drive around. You got a radio. You're, hey, Charlie, we got to get you out over on South Highway 40. You jumped somebody. It was always there. Really kind of a rescue machine. We're glad you guys brought it out. What's next for this unit?
Well, we are going to go, I think it's about 3 weeks from now, hopefully, to the Fleet Command Highway Patrol, and they're going to do, like, hopefully I'm not jinxing it, a little photo shoot with their new Tahoe, put them side by side. Hopefully they're going to drive it. I hope they recommission it for a day and go pull somebody over and give them a ticket, yank somebody out. My ultimate dream is the day we're there's a massive pileup right in front, and they're like, we need something with a winch. And me and Dustin just look at each other and throw the keys and start winching cars out of the way for the CHP, and they give us little deputy badges or something.
I got a feeling that the gearing on this winch based off of a PTO might be a little too slow, but
it's real slow.
Yeah, it's probably really, really slow. We'll do some, yeah. Hey, rev it up. We'll do some walking around. We love the unit. We're glad you brought it out. For you guys out there, you could follow them on Instagram, driveway_finds, and check out the unit. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Day 2, You got a 1972 laid out. We're in the GSI booth. We got Mikey Rolls from Salvage to Savage. And I tell you what, dude, I don't know what the salvage part of this truck was, but the Savage part is unreal. I love this thing. I love the blue, two-tone, 7 deuce, got a big old dime bag logo. It is a stunner. Let's start from the front to back. Well, how about this? How'd you get this truck?
So David, it's kind of a local guy, brought the truck to us. Chassis, he brought the chassis, the motor, and a running, driving, beautiful truck to our shop and said, hey, I need someone to build a truck. Are you interested? And I was like, as long as you're ready to go to Dino's Get Down, I'm going to do the truck. So that was literally 11 weeks ago. So
11 weeks?
I built this truck. We built this truck, Andrew over here. And he and I built this truck in 10 weeks.
That's unreal. I mean, unreal to think that you guys did it that fast. It did have the chassis, though. You said that. Yeah. And it did have the motor?
Yeah, he had the motor, LS3. I'll tell you what the salvage part was. The cowl was completely rotten. The floor was rotten. So it was a beautifully painted truck, but it was like lipstick on a pig, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we got the truck, I pulled the carpet out, and I was like, okay, let's do some metal work.
Well, maybe that pig has high heel shoes that are really classy. Maybe some choo-choos or whatever those are, Jimmy Choos. I don't know,
Red bottoms,
but
baby.
hey,
Louis
I just
Vuitton.
want to know about those Vossens because whatever you did, those just kill it on this truck.
Well, again, he came to the shop with some 24 by 15-inch intro wheels, and I honestly, I just couldn't put my name on it with the intros. No, intro if you're listening, no offense, but I'm all about, putting like a different wheel on these C10s. So like Vossen is known for building wheels for your exotics, BMWs, Mercedes. And I think the Vossens on this truck are just like a home run, man. Slam dunk.
Yeah, they are classy. You kind of said put your name on it. Well, you did. You put dime bagged it. How'd you come up with that?
Well, it's a bag truck and it's a C10, so dime 10, right? So if you know me, you know cha-ching. It's kind of like a money theme, so we just kind of keep it in the family, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's perfect. And I don't know who made that. Did Billet Badges make that?
They did not. My buddy Andy from Bowling Green, Kentucky, Custom Car Emblems. Check them out.
Custom Car Emblems. Andrew, what's your take on this thing? I mean, how much fun in 10, 11 weeks did you have building this dime bag 10?
It was a lot of long hours for sure, but it's all worth it. Once we got out here to Dino's Get Down and it's shining out here in the sun and everybody's digging it, I mean, it's awesome. I'm loving it. It's worth every minute, We were thrashing for exactly that,
Well, let me put a little emphasis on this. So what's good about Andrew and I, so I'm an early guy. I wake up at 3 a.m. I'm at the shop at 4. Andrew's a late guy, so I leave the shop at 5. He works till like 8 o'clock at night. So we're working on the truck all day long, you know what I mean, between him and I.
Yeah, so you get a little pass on, right? You're like,
yeah.
hey, this is what I did. This is what's kicking my ass. Here, if you could get this done, that'd be great. Any problems, leave it on the desk or text me. We're good to go. And this is what you got.
Yeah, pretty much. You nailed it right on.
Called Todd. I ordered these parts. They should be coming in 2 weeks. As a firefighter, that's a big deal. We have to sit in front of one another and go, this is what we have, this is what we're missing, this is what we need. And we call pass on. So I can assume. Here's my deal with this. The little things that you guys did that are different. The dash is different, right? You obviously the firewall, not that a schmaved, that's a smooth shaved firewall. We got a new thing. Schmaved firewall.
Go look at the left side of the firewall, how different it is than any other 72.
Because you don't have the air box. Right. You went all the way, and guys will completely try to get that balance. So you have a schmaved firewall that's smooth and shaved. Obviously the dash, you got a little bit of the racing buckles in there, so you can get crazy. Spark steering wheel. Again, it's a few of the little things that really pop. What has the crowd been saying about this truck?
Oh man, I think that the GSI chassis, really is the moneymaker on this one. With the extremely low ride height, it's stunning.
Yeah, you got a little bit of flake in there. I could see it off the sun right now. It's popping like it's a jet boat out of Boca Raton.
Yeah, exactly, definitely bass boat style with the bubblegum flake, right? It's a brushed steel look and then clear coated with that sparkle. So people loving it.
What's your favorite part of the build? What was your favorite part of the process?
Favorite part of the
besides being done?
I mean, the Whipple supercharger. I love that. I mean, anything adds more power, I'm all about it. So Whipple supercharger is probably my favorite part of the build.
All right, Mikey, what are you thinking?
My favorite part of the build is either the chassis or the interior.
Yeah, and those are what really stand out. To me, the color, because you don't see this baby blue, but really the two-tone, it's laying out, the chassis sparkles, obviously all the airlines, you went hard airlines, the Whipple supercharger, the Schmade firewall. Now, David doesn't know this, but I got to ask him what his favorite part is. David, I'm going to put the mic in front of you, man. Tell me what your favorite part is. You bought this truck, you're sitting in bed one night, you're laying there, probably made a bad decision, and now that bad decision is one of those things where you don't regret it because you're sitting here, you're at the Get Down, you give it to the boys over there at 10, 11 weeks ago, and now you're sitting here and people are goo-goo and guy-guying over your truck.
Probably just laying out just how I was when I bought it. Just laying on the ground.
It's laying out. The big question, right, is about the shakedown. With an 11 to 10 week build, you probably haven't had that much shakedown. What are you looking forward to with this in the next, when you think about 23 to 24, what's your plans? What's your goals? What do you want to do with this thing?
Just take it to soccer practice, do everything with it. Just drive and go to car shows.
How about horsepower? You've got more than you could probably handle. I see that they put those seat belts in there for a reason. Is this something you're really going to go rip it up? It's going to sound gnarly. You're going to go real fast to soccer practice and have a good time, put a smile on kids' faces?
Yeah, I'll take it down 95 South and just hit it. Go to Miami, show it off.
All right, have a good time down there. The Dimebag C10, Mikey, the crew, you guys always do it up big. We love what you do. Obviously, Salvage is Savage. There's a ton of content on this, right? So you guys have your YouTube, your social media. You guys can follow along. Check this build out. We'll post it up. We'll tag it. And again, Dimebag C10 debuting really here at the Get Down. And again, I think everybody's really loving it. Love the color, love the style. The three of you guys make a good team. David, I hope you make more bad decisions, and I hope you hit up the guys at the shop because they're going to do you proud. Thanks, guys.
Hey, Ronnie, calm down.
Como te?
Thanks a lot, Ronnie.
Peace. Get Down 2023. Yeah, it's pretty cool. We'll see if that matches. Hey, these guys are giving me a hard time because on Chase's Utah pod, I might have had a few beers. So I'm going to have to go back and listen to that and see what happens. But either way, we got a little bit of a repod here. We got Big Ben from Engineered Vintage, and we got Jake Brown, not the Mesa Jake Brown, the Washington Jake Brown. Right. You guys work together on the beer bottle bronze. This is one badass freaking rig. I guess I'll start with you, Ben. What's the story from this truck?
Yeah, so my grandpa bought a 72 K10, brand new. It had its whole life, though, on the Oregon coast, and so the truck was pretty roached. My grandpa passed away about 6 years ago. My uncle called me, says, hey, come get this truck off the property. It's yours. I called Jake, and I said, hey, what do I do with this truck? And he said, you bring it to me. Bring it to Gold City Trucks. And so we did. And Jake,
did you say, yeah, they're pretty cool?
They're pretty cool. So we took it up there, and on the way up there to meet Jake, we found a 72 C20 that was from York, Nebraska, and my grandpa was born in Nebraska. Unfortunately, the only thing really good on my grandpa's truck was the frame, so it's got the frame from my grandpa's truck, and then it's got the cab and the fenders and the hood from the C20. And then later on in the build, we found a step-side utility box, which is really nice look, really cool look. Those are old Koenig utility boxes.
Well, and it's a long bed step side. And for the audience, remember, on a utility box that came for the step side trucks, they would take the step side fenders off and they stayed underneath the bed rail, so they're not quite as high. Obviously, in today's world, as much shit as guys put in them, they want the bigger, taller ones. These ones are retro rad because they kind of keep that smaller body line.
They're pretty cool.
They're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. Okay, so JB, what's the story with this thing? Fun build, pain in the ass. Don't bring up the owner, just bring up the truck. The thing came together. You've been working your butt off getting it here. It looks awesome. We love it, and I would say it's pretty cool.
It is. The thing was, Ben called me up in August, and he goes, dude, I want to go to Dino's. I'm like, we can do it. We can do it. So we kind of put a push on it here these last 2 months, and of course everything comes right down the wire. So, well, we made it. Here we are. The bed still smells like fresh paint. You can smell it. I got painted last Saturday. It's a cool truck. It was fun to do this and everything for Ben and kind of collaborate our businesses. When Ben brought it to me, I was just getting started. He was just getting started. We both have grown a little bit during this and together, and so it's just been fun. When he brought me this truck, he had one of these products, and then pretty soon he's got a new product. So the truck's cool. It showcases his products, and I guess it showcases my shop. You know, it was.
Well, we talked about showcasing his shop earlier, and he's not really looking for more work, but Ben is looking for more people to buy not only the grills, the winch, all the different hooks. What are you offering as Dino's Get Down? Is it successful for you?
Yeah, basically about everything that we have is 10% off. So we have all our grills are roughly 10% off.
With an E or without an E?
With an E.
Okay.
With an E. How do you spell grilled chicken?
I don't know. We talked about this.
I know.
It kicks my ass.
So we have our behind bumper winch mounts, our shackle bracket hooks, and our grills down here.
Okay, I'm going to do a little video, but let's go back, okay? So we talked about on our pod. You guys were both on 2023 pod, and your grills with an E. You're continuing to come up with new stuff. Obviously, you've got the 71, 72, kind of the egg crate. You've got the 73, 74 Chev. You did just come out with the 77 to 80 GMC.
Yeah.
Are you looking at more, what if I have kind of prediction for the audience out there, before you go buy an aftermarket grill with an E, what can you tease and tantalize us with that you might be coming out with in the next, let's say 2024? You come up with two grills. What are you looking at?
I think we'd be looking closely at 75, 76 Chev. We'd be looking close at 85 to 87 Chevy and or GMC. And then I always have loved the 89 91 4 headlight. That's one that's just near and dear to my heart. So that would be one. But realistically, those two that I mentioned first are going to be the ones that are going to be
So
the top.
a little devil's advocate on the 89 to 91 is I already think it's so sexy and they did such a great job.
Right.
I wonder if people would spend that coin.
Sure.
Whereas and they're, I don't know, they're readily available, obviously comparative to a good 73, 74. But either way, you guys are killing it out there. For you guys, if you haven't checked them out, I can't imagine that you haven't after we did the pod. It sounds like things are really going well for you, not only at the Get Down, but just in business. I like the AF. I like what you're doing with that. That's fun.
Aluminum fabricated.
Yeah, aluminum fabricated. Don't get any ideas out there. Yeah, so if you're with Gold City Trucks, AF might mean a little different. But the beer bottle bronze, which for the audience, medium bronze, it looks killer. It is a big 4x4. It looks rad. What are your plans with this truck?
So really quick, I just want to do a quick shout out to Devin at Hickman Body and Tenasket, Washington, and then Reggie at Black Rose Fab up in that area too.
They only get two shout outs. That's it too.
Okay. No, but this right for now, it's like my 17-year-old son thinks he's going to drive it all over. So we'll see how that goes. But it's going to be a showpiece, and I can drive it around.
I can't wait to get a report back on that, because when you're 17 and your dad tosses you the keys with a, really a big K20 truck, and it's a 454, I can't wait to see what that gas bill looks like. But either way, he'll be the coolest kid in town. Nothing works better than something like this when you think about showing off your parts, obviously showing off the build work that you did, and it's a rad truck. We're glad that you're debuting it out here, and we hope to continue to see it throughout the next few years, and I'm sure you'll be on to the next thing.
Yeah. Thanks, Ronnie. I appreciate it. Absolutely.
Okay, there you go. Jake, any last word? Pretty cool?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I don't know how drunk I was. Hey, we're drinking Rainier beer for you guys out there in the Pacific Northwest, and we're having a good time at the Engineered Vintage booth for the Get Down. That's it. Late. Hey guys, are you thinking about swapping out your old motor for a more reliable LSLT-based power plant? We've got great news for you. PSI Conversion is offering our listeners 10% off your order. Behind each PSI harness, you get over 10 years of experience in the business, online tech support, phone support, and harnesses made in the U.S. That's psiconversion.com. And don't forget, use code C10TALK and save 10% today.
Since the 1960s, US Mags has held the title for the longest-running custom wheel tradition. Experience the wheels that made history and set the trends for American truck culture for decades to come. From cast wheels to full custom 1- and 2-piece forged wheels, US Mags keeps you and your truck in mind with every new design and model. Our cast wheel series are designed specifically for Chevy trucks and are stocked and ready to ship, giving you the wheels you need when you need them with perfect fitment. Set your ride apart with our custom forged wheels, available in just about any finish and fitment desired. US Mags are guaranteed to distinguish your style and attitude from the rest.
Hey guys, I've got Andrew from Painless Wiring on. Andrew, what's the latest?
just working on producing these GM truck harnesses. They're our best moving vehicle specific, and we're just, super excited to be able to service such a great community of truck guys.
Made in the USA. You guys are probably cranking them out nonstop. A ton of our audience is out there buying these trucks, building these trucks, and they know, hey, Painless Performance has got me taken care of.
Factory options, aftermarket stuff. If you have any questions, call our tech guys. They'll walk you through anything you need to know, and we'll make sure your truck gets wired up right the first time.
If you want to clean up your underdash, you want to clean up your chassis, it's that easy. Painlessperformance.com, painlessperformance.com. Thanks, Andrew. What's up? What's up? Wrapping it up Saturday. And the Apex Leather guys, they're right behind us. And they say, hey, we're going to raffle off a seat. So it's like a $3,000 seat, sweet bench seat, 60 to 87. Matt, you won this thing. You and your brother decided to come out from San Antonio. I mean, it's a great way to start an interior, bro.
No, yeah, honestly, this is crazy. Honestly, this is like a sign from God, because I've been dealing with my truck, like ins and outs. Should I keep it? What should I do with it? And coming down here, my brother was this last weekend. Hey, man, like, let's go out there to Dino's. I've been there. I think it's a big show. You should check it out. Get you inspired for your truck. And sure enough, came down, and I've been inspired all the way through. And winning this seat has kind of just lifted my spirits with my truck and kind of kicking into high gear.
Well, and let's talk about how you got that truck.
Yeah, so my uncle has had his truck since 2015 and 85. It was a project he did with his son, and finally he just kind of ran into some mechanical issues, got frustrated, and was like, all I want is $1,000 for my truck. My dad called me. He was like, hey, you should find a way how to get this. And I was like, sure enough, told my wife, hey, I'm buying this old pickup truck, and it's going to be ours. And sure enough, I've had it for not even less than a year, and it's running. It's actually my daily to work. Back and forth, I drive it to work. My sons love it. My little son, David, he's in love with it. I call it his truck because he wants to always ride in it. Dad, let's go for rides. And yeah, so from San Antonio, Texas, came all the way out here to Arizona, and living now with the seat. It's crazy.
Hey, so just so you know, essentially the seat, you might have more money. Now, we know you want it in the seat than you do in the truck.
No, honestly, the seat is probably worth more than the truck now, but the value just went up on the truck with just having the seat in there. And honestly, I'm excited because I'm going to bring my truck back to Dino's next year. So you'll see the seat in the truck back Dino's next year. So I'm excited for it.
Well, and I'm excited for you because that's what it's all about. And the kids and growing up, and those kids, just like your uncle hooked you up, now you're the recipient of the seat, and the kids will grow up and they'll be like, Dad, we got to ride in the 85. We love it. And it's one of those things where it doesn't really matter what style of truck. It's all about the memories that you and your family make. Now this thing is, like you said, it's a sign from God. You're like, hey, I got this seat. I am ready. I am motivated. This is what I need to be doing.
No, yeah, and for sure. And honestly, the name of my truck is Holy Roller for that reason, because it was like a miracle from God when I got it. My wife and I were in a crazy situation in our life, and God had blessed us at that time. And I said, this truck's Holy Roller. Like anywhere I go, like this is like proclaiming the name of Jesus. So like you'll see the Holy Roller here next year in Dino's.
Well, and this is more proofs in the pudding. You got the seat. Matt Cardenas, you're out of San Antonio, Texas. Thanks for coming out to the Get Down. Apex Leather, amazing job. Liquid Creations out of Chino Valley. Can't wait to see this next year, Matt.
I love it. Leaving home a winner.
Late.
Appreciate it.
Breaking necks, breaking hearts, and breaking records. We got Moto Dude Lowe's GMC Avenue in the background, mixing up some beats. We got Big L from Big Homie Customs, and we got 1977 white on the wood. This thing is, it's special, L. I know that we've seen it. I don't know if the whole audience out there has. We've posted it up. We're going to keep posting it up. We're going to do a walk around. Tell us about the journey. Tell us about the truck. And thank you so much for taking time to be on the pod, my brother.
Oh, man, it's my pleasure, Ronnie. Well, this is called Working Joe. I consider myself to be kind of a working Joe, and this is probably about the fourth rendition of this thing. I had released a picture a little while back, and little bro, as you know, Rich, how we get down, Paige, says, listen, this thing needs to be right, because all the things I was gonna let slide, because it was never really supposed to be this nice. We got to correct that. We got to come correct, and here we are.
It's one of those things, and for the audience, I kind of just went through this on my 76. You start trying to get things ready, and you know what's right and you know what's not, and you guys just said, hey, we got to keep going, we got to keep grinding, we got to make it right, we got to do it right. And that's what you guys brought out. You guys are, it's still going to be a work in progress, but at this point, you know that what you've done from the foundation, that you don't have to go back and do things because you're doing them right.
Correct, man. This truck, like I said, really wasn't supposed to be this nice. And honestly, this truck was originally Rich's. I had a standard cab dually, but Rich ended up getting another G10 van. This was in our little stockpile, this little honey hole we got. And I said, you know what? Let me get it. Because it's 77, and I figured, you know what, let me just get it right, get the trim on it, drip rails, the shit to make it what it's supposed to be. And here we are, man. I think we did a pretty good job of kind of getting it, in my opinion, a nice street truck. Because I don't think it's a show truck, people might say, but I like street shit because I think you should, obviously you could put it in the show, but I like things that you can kind of get there and drive it, enjoy it, let people check it. And hey, man, that's what we do.
Well, and that's, you said it. And for you guys out there, it is a lot of fun to drive these trucks. No different than like Orange Slice. I love the way it looks. I love it, but I want to drive it. And, it's funny. We were driving and riding around on some old BMX bikes, and it's like, well, you could stress about it. You can leave it in the garage, or you can enjoy your life, and you can build something that you can get out, you can roll out. It doesn't mean it have to be SEMA, highest Riddler out there, but it also should be something that's clean, that's tasteful, that you get in and you rock it out with your homies. And that's what you guys did. Literally, you built this thing, working man's Joe. You got it from Baby Bro. You're always going to win with a 77. And then when you put the Dell squares on any vehicle, Porter-built fab, you started off right, and you're just continuing to push that and just make this thing. I mean, let's face it. The wood grain is a little different. It's a little special. And I guarantee people are walking by here saying, oh, damn, what the hell?
It was quite the process because I originally had a different wood grain print on here from, I think, Ricky Holly. And we had talked, and he had told me that stuff is cool. It is very difficult to work with, and it's not necessarily meant to be outdoors. So I had to kind of think about that. So what I did was I found a guy in Vegas through my painter, Lisa Auto Body and Paint Supply in Vegas. And we probably went back and forth for a few weeks to kind of come up with the right color tones, the white wood grain pattern. And you know what? Here we are, man. I didn't think it was going to be so well received, but people love it. I love it. I come from a woodworking background. My father was a carpenter, and I have an appreciation for that stuff. Back in the day when I used to build motorcycles, I built a chopper with real maple wood grain inlay, because I always liked a wood grain or a wood panel hot rod. So that's kind of where it came from, and I just figured, you know what? I think it would play well on the white with the yellow on the trim, and hey, man.
And it does. I mean, when you think about how it makes the yellow look rich, the rich makes the wood look rich, and then when you open that door, your interior as well, it all flows together, maybe better than you even thought it would.
It did, man. It did. Like I use these essays on the east side of town. Henry, R.I.P. Henry, but his crew keeps his deal going, and I just had a color in mind, and I wanted that rusty brown almost, but still with like a factory feel. And hey, man, I took a gamble and it paid off. Like, it matches really well off of the wood grain print, the white. Like we wanted a good white, but not a white that has these weird different color tones when you kind of look at them. Like, I wanted a white, not too crazy white, but it works.
It works. It pops, and it's one of those things. Speaking of popping, how about that EQ? So for you guys out there, you know how a square body dash rolls. Well, right underneath the radio, right where sometimes you'll see an old trailer brake, maybe a CB latch. Oh, Big L's got an old school EQ just sitting up right there.
Well, listen, if you got a nice ride, you got to have some slap. And you know what? I come from the back in the day where you had some subs, you had a nice Alpine, but you had to have that EQ. Don't nothing go down without that EQ. I had it on my last truck, Bucky, and that's just kind of one of those staples that the next one after that will always have an EQ. And hey, man, listen, I like sounds, and if you want to dial it in, you got to have that EQ, baby.
Well, you guys keep it fresh for sure. How we do is keeping it fresh. Okay, what's your favorite, funnest part of this build along this journey? What have you really enjoyed?
You know, the best part, man, is just the appreciation from my woman. You know, because
There you go.
she doesn't necessarily understand everything, but she gets it. And she's like, hey, I don't understand, but you love it, you have fun with it, do your thing. And then next to that is obviously the journey with my brother, you know, because Rich has always been along with me on the journey when I was doing choppers. He was like my guy that always looked out for me, and it's a trip now, the roles have reversed. He's the head of the brand now, and I'm kind of catering to him, but I knew that we got to have something slick next to his vans, of course. We got to have a truck. So I figured, hey, let's do something fresh, you know, and it might not be cool as Sam C-, but, you know, that's where my personal inspiration came from, you know, before I even knew you or Sam. Like, I knew that truck, and I figured, man, if I'm going to bust out, it's got to be on that caliber, you know. And then, you know, when you get into these wheels, Dell's a great guy. He's obviously a friend now, and, you know, to get with him and guys like yourself to kind of really harness, not necessarily a standard, but you can kind of pick from everybody's little style and put it together, man, and hey, you got you a nice whip.
I love that. I love what you just said. It's like, hey, we could all look at different things that motivate you, the styles that you like. It might be somebody else's vehicle, but you take that, you incorporate that, and that's definitely a level of flattery. And I think if C- is the bar, that's a great bar to look at, to try to obtain. And what you've done, you really have. You've given yourself a driver that can run up and down with the best of them, and then really just enjoy it. And I gotta think that people, for this 2-day show, they're saying like 9,000 trucks. Who knows? I'm gonna just say 10, 15,000 people. I don't know. It's been crazy. But I gotta think that people are loving this thing.
You know, man, honestly, Ronnie, I couldn't call this one, man, because yes, you get love on social media, and social media can be very deceiving because a truck can look really cool on a picture. And you know, and I don't mean this as a diss, but when you see, it's like, man, it ain't really hitting like I thought it was hitting. But not to toot my own horn, I'm like, man, people are coming over here giving me love, which was unexpected, and I think we got a smash hit, man. It's kind of exactly how I saw it in my head. It's in real life now.
Well, and like you said, you set a bar. You come from building high-end custom choppers, and now you transition, and this is a journey that, you know, you might go a little bit deeper than you're used to. And that is a funny thing, because we can do that on social media. We can make things look really, really amazing.
Slick, yeah.
And we've seen that, where you see somebody's truck, maybe the paint, maybe something, and then you I don't know, I hate to be negative, but sometimes you go up and you're like, oh damn, that isn't what I thought. Like, dude, he hid that. He did a good job of hiding that.
Yeah.
And where now, especially with the way this thing photographs with the Dell squares, with the white, you lay it out, it looks just killer. And I can see where people will be like, oh damn, that white pops. Oh, that's a different wood, but I like that style. Yeah. And you should feel that way. You should feel really good about it, because we have kind of known you and seen this journey. And again, for the audience, it's not just about L, and it's not just about his bro. It's about the journey of the build on these trucks, having fun, enjoying it, build it your style, trust your gut, trust your style. You can have people out there that you like what they do, that motivate you, that inspire you. That's normal, that's natural. But at the end of the day, do you, and then you will love your truck even more.
That's exactly right, man. Like, you know, you've said it to me, Sam, Dell. You don't want to get caught up in trying to build something for other than yourself. Like, you just do your thing, man. And which I like about this industry, like, it doesn't matter if you, like, and this is not me talking shit, like a jalopy, which I thought my truck was when I first kind of had it out. It was on some jalopy shit, man. And I figured, you know what, but hey, you can still do it, because it's just kind of what you want to do. So I think there's so many levels to this thing, and it's still kind of looked at as equals. Like, hey, you out here, man. You got you a truck, you doing your thing. nobody's dogging you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, now that I've busted out and people are like, well, El, this is very well done. It's tastefully done. And I say, hey, man, this is not like one of those upper echelon bills. You know, it's, in my opinion, a street truck, you know, and I think it hits the mark. You know, I think it does what it's supposed to do. And hopefully, you know, in the future, we can keep knocking them out. Who knows, like after this one, I've been considering a Kevin Stickle rendering. That's next it for me. And I really want to kind of charge for a that Triple Crown and maybe some other stuff. Like, I just want to see where I'm at with I can do with these things, you know? Like, it's cool, but there's a flip side, because can you really enjoy those trucks? And this is why I have this, and because I don't necessarily care about if I get a chip or some things not necessarily being perfect, or what we consider up to code, like, you know, original type spec shit, you know? That's the downside, but I feel I owe it to myself, little bro, his new charge with the brand and his YouTube page, How We Get Down. Like, I think we need to have something like that and see what happens. But all in all, I think what we do, yourself included, of just having a really cool street truck, and we get out there and we hit them streets. Like, as an example, when I saw you rolling at the Slowdown, that was one of the coolest things ever, man. On the coastline, everybody mashing. And that's what really put a fire under my ass to get this done, because I tell you what, this truck will be there doing the same thing next year, just like y'all did, and I can't wait.
And that's it. I'll take you out on that. We love that you build this and you're saying, hey, I don't have to be, I set my bar. I want to be where I want to be. And for you guys out there, set your own bar. But just realize that there's nothing funner than hanging out with your homies and wheeling up and down, whether it's the coast, whether it's to the lake, whether it's to cars and coffee, trucks and tacos. I don't care what it is, but as long as you're firing them up, you're lighting them up, and you're having a good time, because in this short life while we're here, it is ultimately what it's about. And I like what you said. Well, El, hell yeah. This is a great debut. We love the work of Man's Joe. We're going to take some pictures of it. I know that there's still work to be done on it, and I think that you got that show in like 4 months, the reunion. I think we'll see it there. Yeah. We look forward to having its own little spot. Probably going to be up top, but ultimately, I love the wood, love the style, and again, breaking hearts, necks, and records. Big Homie Customs, Rich, L, love the truck, bro.
Appreciate you, my man. Out.
That's a wrap. C10 Talk out. Thanks again for tuning in. As always, we appreciate your support. Hopefully you were able to make it out and enjoy the Get Down. We will be having some Black Friday specials on anything that we do have left in stock, so stay tuned for that. We've got Good Guys coming up this week. I'm not sure if I'll make it out there for that one. And then obviously we're going to be getting everything ready for the reunion, the 3rd annual reunion. That's going to be in Chandler, Arizona, March 23rd, 2024. We kind of wait until the Get Down's done, you know, really kind of want to make sure we're putting our focus into the Get Down. And then now we've got 4 months, almost to the day, get ready for the 3rd annual reunion. We will be capping that at 600. We will open registration on January 1st, just like we did earlier this year, 2023. So January 1st of 24, we will open registration. We will have it at 600 capped, and then the reunion will be March 23rd, downtown Chandler. Thanks as always. Have a great week. Late.